What is this metal oval locking metal cooking apparatus with a spike? I just moved into an old house and found this in the drawer under the oven, around 4 inches tall by 4 inches wide and 7.5 inches long. It's pretty robust and has that locking mechanism to keep it closed. I consider myself pretty well versed on cooking implements, but I'm lost. I asked some friends, and they have no idea about this either. Google is not helpful as well. Does anyone have a clue what this could be? It's a Topo Stove Potato Baker, designed by Raymond Barton, produced and distributed by Namac Products Corporation in Los Angeles, California, and patented in 1937. You release the spring snap lock and separate the baking shell. You then slide the potato onto the spit, close the baker, and snap the lock into position. Place it over a medium gas or electric burner, and bake for approximately 60 minutes for average-sized potatoes. It says that it retains more of the healthful vitamins that are normally lost through boiling or baking the conventional way. What is this antique-looking metal thing found at a thrift store? It has holes, I'm assuming, for hanging on a wall, and hooks that come unhinged. It says Toronto, Canada, and genuine Shannon. I bought it because my name is Shannon. It's a couple of inches wide and a little rusty, which makes me assume it's antique, but I might be wrong. Any ideas? It's a 2-hole hanging clipboard from circa 1879, missing the board part. It used to be a common way to hold receipts, copies of invoices, etc. Sometimes mounted on a clipboard, sometimes on a wall. The paper used had punched holes and were a common thing before the computer age took over. What is this 2-piece metal and wood fixture found with grandfather's office supplies? The top piece balances in the middle on a small pin. I can't determine the age of it or what it might be. There are no brand names or manufacturer dates on it, but looks to be from the 1970s or 1980s. Any insights would be appreciated. It's an executive calendar, missing some parts it seems. Made and manufactured by Brown and Bigelow of St. Paul, Minnesota in the 1960s. By the late 1940s, the company was one of the largest printers of calendars in the world. It employed some of the best pin-up artists in the United States and sold calendars to an estimated 50 million homes. What is this green-painted wooden box with 2 sets of hinges? The top opens to reveal a storage area with a cylindrical insert. The bottom opens to the shallow storage area. It is lined with pink material, around 8 inches square and 7 inches high. The cylinder inside has a plush top edge, and there's a star wire, I assume to help something keep its shape. I collected it from my grandmother's estate, so the thing is probably more than 60 years old. Possibly some form of jewelry storage box. Any idea what this box is made for? It's a Victorian collar and cuff celluloid box from circa 1890s. These boxes were invented in the 1860s to keep collars and cuffs from getting dirty as clothing was handmade. It was less expensive to purchase a shirt and attach your own collar and cuffs. The top of the box opens to store collars around the round section and cuffs inside the round section. The bottom of the box opens to store collar stays and cuff links. By the 1930s, collar and cuff boxes were no longer needed as factories mass-produced clothing. What is this thing I picked up from a thrift shop today? It's heavy metal with a wooden handle. The middle shaft slides back and forth and looks like it should hold something. The metal component hinges and moves. The only stamp is patented June 14th, 1881 on the hinge part. It appears to be some kind of tool, but Google image search isn't coming up with anything. Any and all help is appreciated. It's a combined stereoscope and graphoscope that's missing some parts. Patented on June 14, 1881 by William H. Lewis of Brooklyn, New York. A stereoscope is for viewing a stereoscopic pair of separate images, depicting left eye and right eye views of the same scene, as a single 3-dimensional image, while a graphoscope was used to enhance the viewing of photographs and text. It's a good find. Cheers! What is this thing found along the edge of some woodland, near a British military barracks in the UK? It is huge, dark greenish in color, and has the red danger symbol on it. It felt like hard plastic and not very heavy. I used to play in that woodland as a child, and as I live somewhere else now, I occasionally like to visit and take a walk and remember the good times. Any ideas? It's the tail fenestron from a gazelle, an enclosed helicopter tail rotor that operates like a ducted fan, sometimes alternatively referred to as a fantail. The British Army used them extensively. It is the first helicopter to feature a fenestron tail instead of a conventional tail rotor. The Gazelle was developed during the 1960s as a successor to the Alouette II, as well as to meet a French Army requirement for a new lightweight observation helicopter. What is this very light basket thing with wooden sides and a brass handle? About 40 centimeters in diameter and about 50 centimeters tall. I can see the sides have Chinese characters written on them. Any ideas? It's a Chinese wedding basket, missing the top one, made from the early 20th century. The basket is made from split bamboo and has 3 compartments for storage, which lift apart from each other into separate baskets. Originally, it was a gift to the bride, usually in pairs to provide nourishment for the wedding trip. What equipment is hanging on the left-hand side of the belt on these World War II British soldiers? These are the 2nd Battalion Grenadier Guards on May 17, 1944, during D-Day preparations. Any ideas? It's a canvas bayonet frog and the metal scabbard for the Lee Enfield No. 4 spike bayonet. It was created to replace the current bayonet at the time in service, which was the World War I vintage pattern 1907 bayonet. What is this glass thing with a base that tips found at a local history museum in the Northeast United States? This was unidentified at the museum, and the best guess a volunteer had was it had something to do with pasteurizing milk. The only writing I could find is the letter K on the side of the bottle. Any ideas? Please tell us down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.